What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Red Seat Radio. My name is Corbin. Before we get into anything today, I do want to remind you that we are going to be live tomorrow night on Wednesday. It's going to be a little later than usual, mostly because the Red Sox don't start till 7:40, so we're going to go live at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. If you haven't been to one of these yet, they are a ton of fun. Regardless of how well the Red Sox do or are doing, we have a great time, so make sure you guys swing on by. Again, that is 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time tomorrow night, Wednesday, to watch the Red Sox take on the Twins. Anyways, this Red Sox season has been rocky to say the least. And I think a lot of us, including myself and probably you watching, want answers to what happened in 2022. Who's to blame, what happened, and if someone will be held accountable for this 2022 season. Well, got kind of an update on that. So that is what we are talking about today. We are talking about what the Red Sox said about their front office staff as well as their managerial staff, how it affects the 2023 Red Sox, and what it means for this 2022 season. But before we get into that, do me a favor, make sure you guys have hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. If you're new here, we talk Red Sox content almost every single day. Also, make sure you guys have hit the like button on this video as well, as it helps out a ton and would mean a lot to me. Thank you all very much for clicking on this one. Let's get into it. So if you couldn't tell by the title, by the thumbnail, or by the intro of this video, Sam Kennedy in a presser yesterday announced that both Alex Cora and Chaim will be returning for the 2023 season. Now, Alex Cora does not surprise me at all. I know a couple of you guys have some mixed feelings about Alex Cora, but in my personal opinion, I think this team would be much worse off in 2022 without Alex Cora in that dugout. And here's why. The first reason is because of his record. If you look back at Alex Cora's record, 2018 was one of the best years in Red Sox history. 2019, a little bit worse, probably could have done better, but still managed to have a winning record. 2020, obviously not with the team. 2021, you make it 2 games from the World Series with a team that probably shouldn't have been there in the first place. And now you have 2022, which it is what it is at this point. So if you're looking at Alex Cora's managerial history, 3 out of the 4 years that he has managed with this team, he has had a winning record. In my opinion, that gives him a lot of slack, and I think that also gives him a lot of slack with a lot of the fan base and the front office. But the second reason I don't blame Alex Cora for this season is because of the tools that he was given. Now, a lot of you will ask in the comments down below, or make comments in the comments down below about Alex Cora's decisions. We talk about it on the live stream, and for the most part, I try to avoid it, but here's how I look at it when I'm looking at Alex Cora and the tools that he was given this year. And I'm going to use an analogy. Bear with me, it's a little bit long. Say Alex Cora wasn't the manager of the Boston Red Sox, but instead he was the head landscaper at a landscaping company, right? Every year he comes in during landscaping season and he gets his tools by the owner. The owner gives him his tools to do his job, which is landscape houses. Okay, so he goes in 2022 and the owner starts off with a lawnmower, a top of the line, fantastic lawnmower, right? It's the cream of the crop lawnmowers. He's excited. It's fantastic. He's had this lawnmower before. It works super well and he knows how to use it. Now for raking leaves, he gets a giant fork, which, okay, maybe not the best rake in the world, maybe not the rake he wanted, but it should be able to do the job, right? It's a giant fork. And then finally come the hedge trimmers, which he gets a pair of nail scissors for. Obviously, this is not what Cora wanted, and it's probably going to be pretty difficult for him to do his job with nail clippers as hedge trimmers, but hey, these are the tools you're given. Let's see what we can do with them. So Alex Cora sets off, and for the first couple of months, couple of weeks, he uses that lawnmower for almost everything, right? That lawnmower will chop up the leaves super fine, so he doesn't really have to use the large fork. Maybe he somehow finagles a way to be able to trim hedges with that lawnmower, and obviously that lawnmower mows lawns really well. But because it's his only reliable tool, he has to use it so much that the blades get dull. The belt on the motor snaps, and now he's kind of got, towards the end of the year, a beaten down lawnmower because he had to use it so much. That fork that we were talking about, yeah, it does good sometimes, but other times it really does not work for the situation that it's in, and it ends up failing. And obviously the nail trimmers are a huge issue. Alex Cora tries to use them sometimes, maybe on small bushes or maybe on trees that may not look as menacing as others, but at the end of the day, it's really not the tool you needed. Now, I know this is a long-winded analogy, and I hope you guys followed that, but let's bring it back to baseball. So if we're talking about Alex Cora in 2022, he simply was not given the proper tools to put together a winning ball club. Obviously, throughout the year, you're going to make decisions and choices that don't work out as a manager because at the end of the day, you're human. He's not 100% great, right? No manager in baseball is a 100% perfect manager. I would find it hard pressed for anyone to find a manager that has not made a managerial decision that hasn't worked out this entire year. But when you're looking at Alex Cora with the tools that he was given, it becomes even more difficult to make those right decisions. And that, in my opinion, is why Alex Cora is not the problem with this 2022 team. hopefully that helps you guys a little bit. Either way, I'm excited to see Alex Cora back for the 2023 season. I think he's a fantastic manager. I think with the right tools, he can do a lot for this Red Sox team. Chaim Bloom, on the other hand, is a much different scenario and a very interesting one at that. If we're taking a look at Chaim Bloom's history, right, we're going to focus on 2021 and 2022, the past 2 years. In 2021, Chaim Bloom made all of the right moves, it felt like. Getting Schwarber, getting Ottavino, getting Kike, getting Whitlock, getting Robles, right? And they all sort of worked out. Hunter Renfroe you can put on top of that too. I'm sure there's more that I'm missing. And they all worked out and they ended up performing all really well together. Well, in 2022, instead of using that as a platform and jumping up to the next level, he seemed to have taken 2 steps back. If we're talking in terms of Chaim Bloom's grades over the past 2 years, you have to give 2021 in the A range just because of what they were able to accomplish with the tools that they were given. In 2022, that could be very easily a D, and a case could be made extremely easily for that to be an F. That averages out to around a C grade, which is dead average. If you're the Red Sox, you don't want dead average. And in my opinion, this year, 2023, this offseason and next year are going to be the boiling point for Chaim Bloom. I think for the most part, if you're looking at it from the front office's side, you're saying, hey, okay, Chaim, you had one really great year, one really crappy year, and through those 2 years, you were kind of fixing mistakes of past GMs, right? Especially in 2020 and 2021, you really didn't have the flexibility that you would probably want as the GM or the chief baseball operator of the Boston Red Sox. 2022, you had a little bit more wiggle room and it didn't work out. Okay, so 2023 is going to be where you either prove that you have a plan and that you can put together a competitive winning ball club year in and year out, or this is where we say, hey, okay, you tried it, it didn't work, we're gonna have to move on to a different strategy, whether that's with Chaim Bloom or without. So in my opinion, bringing back Chaim Bloom logically makes sense. Give him that clean slate, see what he can do, and if he can't do what he said he can do, then it's time to move on. So while I was a little bit more surprised that it was so easy to say, yes, Chaim Bloom's gonna be back in 2023, I'm not surprised that he's back at all. I do think, however, that there is a possibility that in 2023, if he does not kill this offseason, I mean truly kill this offseason, put together a competitive team not only for 2023 but for 2023 and beyond, that his job will be on the hot seat and the hottest seat available. If he goes into 2023 and they have a first half like they had in 2022, I would not be surprised at all if the Red Sox move on from Chaim Bloom in 2023. All in all, I think the Alex Cora decision makes perfect sense. I think, in my opinion, I think a lot of people's opinion, Alex Cora will be leaving this team not because he was forced to, but because he wants to at some point. The Chaim Bloom decision is much more interesting in my opinion, but I understand the reasoning behind wanting to give him one more year to prove himself. Let me know in the comment section down below. What do you think of these 2 moves? Do you like them? Do you not like them? Who do you think of these 2 is to blame for this Red Sox season? And did you want to see one of these guys replaced or fired? Let me know all your thoughts down below. As always, if you've made it to the end of this video, do me a favor, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. Like I said at the beginning, if you're new here, we talk Red Sox content almost every single day. Plus, you made it to the end of this video, you might as well hit that sub button. You also might as well hit that like button too. It helps these videos out a ton, would mean a lot to me. One last thing, if you really enjoyed this video, share with a friend or family member who loves the Red Sox as much as you do. Let them know, hey, these 2 guys are coming back. It would mean the world to me. Thank you all very much for clicking on this one, and I will see you tomorrow night for the live stream at 7:30 p.m. Eastern time and in the red seats.